Returning to my Coin Lady channel, I am pleased to see you again. An insider, who recently departed the SEC, has informed Fox News correspondent Eleanor Tarrant that the SEC is likely to file an appeal. Therefore, we will examine her words word for word. I don't think this is really novel. It has been suggested by numerous individuals that the SEC will most likely appeal that decision. This is why we will examine the reasons why they could. The opinion of Mark Fagel will be sought after. After that, we'll have a look at what this means in practice. Jeremy Hogan. To what extent is it important for us? Neither is it nothing, nor is it everything. It lies on the borderline. Okay, then, let's take a look at Eleanor's statement. She informs me that the SEC would likely file an appeal, according to a former lawyer who left the organization. Due in part to the fact that, as the quote goes, everyone over there at the SEC truly believes the decision is wrong and that it's not good law, and should be appealed. Judge Torres is ruling on July 22, 2023, regarding XRP program sales in the Ripple case. And I'll tell you what, that's great and dandy, and they might not be happy with the decision, but this is how I see things unfolding. They don't necessarily think it's wrong. They simply dislike it. Not liking the law is very different from not comprehending it, as Gary Gensler has himself stated on multiple occasions. I know that Mark Fagel thinks the result doesn't make much sense, but we will certainly consider his thoughts. It seems unfair that these institutional investors, who are highly intelligent, have special safeguards. Ripple must provide them with additional disclosures and registrations. However, when they sell to naive investors on the open market, they receive zero return. Just like that, they are abandoned. This doesn't seem right, and it doesn't tell us anything. That doesn't make much sense, because I agree with them. It's disappointing, but it shows that new rules are necessary. A lot of these cryptocurrency ventures should provide us with reliable information in the form of quarterly or annual reports. We also need laws that are easy to understand. What matters now is whether Judge Torres makes the appropriate choice based on the law, which is, in my opinion, the future. Even if they win their appeal, the SEC will still be out of luck if they are unhappy with the result. Will their case improve throughout the appeal? Will it improve the situation, or make it worse? And should they invest their limited resources in it? In this place, we inquire about that. Jeremy Hogan is here. Naturally, they believe the viewpoint is incorrect, according to what he says. Unfortunately, they were beaten. The intriguing part is this. Looking at the results for Ripple and the SEC, we find that they both achieved nearly the same amount of sales. The fine would have been comparable. You had to have known that this may have been the outcome going into it, but it wasn't fantastic. The SEC is concerned about programmed sales, the secondary market, and exchanges. Mark Fagel also hinted at that possibility. In his opinion, given the current state of the law, SEC stands to lose a significant portion of this case, and that is precisely what transpired. If an appeal advances the SEC's mission of investor protection and capital generation, then the SEC should be considering it, according to Jeremy. For what reason isn't that its first concern? Further proof that the SEC is bereft of direction. The person whose opinion I'm going to offer here is not an attorney. Though I don't pretend to have any legal training, I think the SEC should file an appeal if it thinks Judge Torres erred in ruling that the programmatic sales constituted a security offering. It is imperative that they appeal. Investors in the secondary market tend to be less experienced and hence more vulnerable. Naturally, they can't let that slide. We need to know if the SEC is unhappy with the result, or if the verdict was indeed wrong. Like Gary Gensler argues time and time again, there's a difference between not comprehending what Judge Torres put out there and disliking a statute. The plan is solid. Upon closer inspection, these digital assets do not constitute ownership in anything. Do not consider them a debt security. To qualify as a security offer, an asset must be encapsulated in an investment contract, if it does not already qualify as a traditional security. That is precisely the position that Judge Torres stated. It appears like her rationale was sound, but if that isn't the case and you're simply selling on the secondary market blindly, then you're in trouble. Furthermore, I doubt the majority of individuals will dispute that. They will probably just yell at him and say this, in my opinion. It's not right. Regular individual investors, not institutions, should be overseen by the SEC. Moreover, what does that indicate once more? Certain regulations are required. Some new rules are required. They insist the regulations are very clear, even though we've been shouting at them to be heard. Everything like this is subject to the rules. Judge Torres just told you that. That's how the rules work. If the SEC just disagrees with the existing legislation, I believe you will likely obtain the same outcome on appeal. It's Gary's opinion. Seek a higher court's opinion. You need to urge Congress to change the regulations, not file an appeal. He maintains that new rules can be written by Congress if either the people or lawmakers dislike the current ones. Both sides are affected. Over here, it goes both ways. The SEC is also targeted. The law remains the law, and in my opinion, Judge Torres made the correct application of the law. It's difficult to dispute this. Now we'll find out if Mark Fagel is right when he asserts that institutional sales were the winner while programmatic sales were the loser. I can't speak for the majority, but he seems to be referring to the quote where he says that although most people at the SEC believed that Judge Torres was mistaken, he now thinks that the sales were about even in terms of cash. He argues that they should appeal because, although it's not strictly a money matter, he does think that programmatic sales loss is a big deal. Mark will argue that the outcome is illogical if you press him on the matter, but he will ignore the fact that the law requires a different outcome. Mark simply doesn't agree with the outcome, and it's hard to defend the idea that an institution should be more closely monitored and given more information than the average citizen. The law says so, even if it doesn't make sense. But you know what? They may purchase that institution on the secondary market. In that case, there would be no security offering, and they would be under no obligation to provide anything. You can tell it's not true because they exaggerate. However, it's likely that the result won't be ideal for anyone who lost Ripple. Plenty more cash will have to be forked out. It's not fair. We should be able to see what's actually happening behind the scenes with these initiatives, and invest in them with confidence, if they were to provide us with some form of report. This is all we have until lawmakers in Congress pass new legislation, and those people are the true lawbreakers. They must complete the task. Again, what's going to transpire in this place? The SEC finds it difficult to digest. It was determined that these assets can be issued as securities on occasion. There you have it. Is this outcome something they can accept? Gary Gensler is not me. Neither am I a lawyer. Sorry, I'm confused. We shall ascertain the truth. For XRP investors, what does this imply in the event that they decide to appeal? In the grand scheme of things, this is what will transpire. A little portion of your top-end price appreciation will be reduced as a result. XRP's performance will be superior to its previous iteration. It is significantly more liquid. Our listings on prominent US exchanges such as Kraken and Coinbase, as well as all the others that cater to the US market, will most likely remain unaffected by an appeal. America isn't everything, but it is a major player, and its influence will grow. The XRP ledger has undergone significant upgrades. At the moment, there are a lot of thrilling developments taking on as this space experiences a bull run. This is also the first occasion in history where Yahoos can simply open the Coinbase app during a bull run and purchase XRP. In my opinion, they will do it, and it will be pivotal. As a result, we are aware that XRP will likely perform better. The viewer's presence here is greatly appreciated. Bye for now, and please subscribe and like my channel.